Hi, I am Lydia and I'm going to be leading you through a Vinyasa practice today. We are going to be expanding into the heart center. And before you run away or press pause and decide not to do this video, I want you to find a little bit more of a sense of confidence by expanding through the front of the chest space. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on this upper part of the chest versus like a super deep back bend. So if something for you that perhaps feels tightness, whether that's from sitting at desks or whether you just feel that you don't necessarily like back bend, this is actually the perfect practice for you. We're going to be thinking about this upper clavicle space. We're going to be thinking about the throat and starting to cultivate a sense of awareness to how we expand from this point of our bodies upwards and outwards in hopefully a really beautiful and accessible way for you all. I'm going to be using 2 bricks. If you don't have 2 bricks, then grab yourselves maybe 2 pillows or roll up a blanket. All of those can be used throughout the practice. As I'm using the bricks, you could just use those as options instead. Also, you could do all of this without any props if you don't have anything to hand at all. We are going to start laying on our back. So if you are working with bricks, I'm going to take 1 brick on the highest setting towards the back of the mat space. I'm going to take the second brick kind of part way down on the mid-height setting. And then bring ourselves all the way down towards the floor space, soles of the feet connected. If you don't have bricks, you're just coming to lay on your spines. The back of the heart space is going to rest in towards that mid-height brick. And this higher brick here is just going to sit in towards the nape of your neck. And it should feel really nice once you've got the right positioning just to fully rest the back of the skull into this. And either you're going to keep the soles of the feet connected down towards the ground space, or you might choose to extend the legs long, almost as if you're in a supported fish pose here. Releasing the arms to the sides. Maybe taking that little dance that you need to do to find this sense of comfort and this deepening sense of connection in towards the backs. Eventually letting yourself arrive into the stillness of this posture. And initially in this space, just noting if you feel a sense of resistance to settling. A sense that you need to somehow hold yourselves perhaps a little bit higher than the props beneath your spine. To feel really poised and pulled upwards or tense through the back body. Is there a way that you could allow yourself to fully rest in towards the back? And maybe that comes with a deeper expansion of breath that draws in through the nose. Maybe that increases with an audible exhale outwards. And then you're just softly allowing the lips to seal, letting the breath do what the breath needs to do so it's not following a particular pattern. We're going to work with a breath that adapts to the needs of the practice, the needs of the movement that are out in front of us. And oftentimes when we think about expanding in towards the chest space or we hear the word back bends, naturally we start to build the sense of protection or the sense of guarding that increases our muscular density or tension. As if we're kind of gripping or holding that space so we couldn't be opened. Maybe there's an invitation to start to expand through the front of the bodies and to see what we hold at the very center of ourselves. When we start to understand what we hold at the center of ourselves and where we want to be, the possibilities that we want to enrich, or the people that perhaps we want to become or surround ourselves with. We can work with this almost potent potential to nurture it, enrich it. Arriving to a body or arriving to a landscape or a mind or a social setting that we feel super comfortable within. where we feel, yes, we have resilience, we have that internal sense of strength. But we also feel totally at ease being the people that we want to be from the center of ourselves outwards. Letting the mind almost drop into the center of the self. And as you place the mind in towards the heart, could you think about this expansion of breath, drawing all the way in towards the outer edges of your shoulders, the upper spaces of your clavicles as you breathe inwards. And taking a full release that clears the lungs, exhaling. One more breath here, inhaling through the nose. Open-mouthed, exhales out. Without necessarily disturbing this elongation, we can blink open the eyes. Bring the soles of the feet down towards the ground space if you extended your legs long. Very slowly just releasing the hands so they press by the sides of the body. You can draw your chin towards your chest. If you're on the brick, just moving the upper brick towards one side, pressing in towards one of the forearms to bring the lower brick all the way towards the side as well. And bring yourself back down towards the ground space and just taking a moment with the hands towards the front of the bodies here, feeling the entirety of your spine rest in towards the floor space. And we want to feel this sense of connection towards the fluidic side of our bodies. So yes, there's always this weight in the bones, there's this weight through the muscles, but can we find the texture of ourselves being something that's a little bit more close towards water, as if we were stirring or pooling all of that energy to shape shift and to arrive into a body or arrive into a landscape that is ever flowing with a sense of freedom. Feel the belly rising towards the palms of the hands as you next breathe inwards. And as you exhale, you're releasing to gather the legs in towards the chest, and the hands will go behind the backs of the knees. We're going to take a rock towards our sit bones, crossing out our ankles, allowing yourself to move upwards in towards a tabletop position. As you find your tabletop position, let's tuck through the toes. You're going to interlace the hands like so the fingertips point in towards one another. Pressing down through the palms of the hands, just take a little moment with those tucked toes to feel a sense of connecting the hands in towards the ground, expanding the chest a little bit further forwards and ever so slightly just drawing the navel point upwards towards the spine. Then moving through your cat-cows, almost obnoxiously slow, so sending the navel point down towards the ground space, pushing in towards the palms and drawing your chest through your arms as you inhale. Pressing in towards the palms of your hands, allowing your spine to round from the upper all the way down towards the base of the pelvis, almost feeling like the sit bones tuck underneath. We're going for 2 more here. Navel goes all the way down towards the ground space, and the chest goes up and through the arms as you inhale. Pressing in towards the palms of the hands as you exhale. And once more here, navel goes all the way down towards the ground. Heart comes through the arms as you inhale through the nose. And this time as you exhale, you're going to push in towards the palms of the hands around through the spine. And then slowly start to press the bum towards the heels of the feet. You could keep the toes tucked under. I often like to do that. Or you might want to untuck your toes. As you shift backwards, you're going to place your hands behind your back, either holding your wrists, your forearms, or your elbows here. And just taking a few moments in this space to stack your heart over your hips and your head over your heart. Perhaps experiencing a subtle connection of the scapulars, drawing a little bit closer, expanding through the front line of the chest. We work through this practice experiencing fluidity, experiencing self, and how this opening through the front of our body allows us to sensationalize the experience outwards. Feeling into its potential, so much so that perhaps the sensation that we hold within our own selves becomes something that could be shared amongst others. Maintaining smooth, steady breath, inhale through the nose. Maybe a subtle drawing back of the navel towards the spine, Uddiyana Bandha. One more breath in. And then slowly just releasing the arms, blinking open the eyes. If you're on tucked toes, we're just going to release them, but come back in towards the kneeling space. You're going to bring your hands in towards your heart, and they are facing upwards towards the sky, almost as if there was something resting into the palms that has a subtle sense of weight and buoyancy. And see if you could really lean into the sensation of what this is going to be. We're going to expand our arms towards the side of the space. As you inhale, extend the arms all the way up and over your head. And as you exhale, pressing the palms of the hands all the way back down towards the heart space for landing. Palms will turn upwards. Expand the heart outwards, touch the edges of your space. As you inhale, reach all the way up to sky and beyond. As you exhale, press it back down, land back into the center of the chest. We keep it going. Turn the palms, expand out, touch the edges. Inhale, lift the arms all the way high. Exhale, press down, land back in the center. We keep moving through the space like it's pranayama. Expand out. Maybe there's a subtle lift of chest space. Arms go all the way up high to the sky, almost as if you're extending your inhalation. Exhale, hands press all the way back down, land back in towards the center of the chest and body. Let's find 2 more here, full breath. Taking the top of that breath and lifting it all the way high, breathing in towards edges of lungs. Pressing the hands all the way back down, land at the center of the body. Last one, open out, feel a sensation of lifting. Rise upwards, extend to sky. Exhale, push down, land at the heart. Releasing. Reaching for either a blanket, cushions, or bricks, and placing them down towards the top of the mat. You're going to rest your thighs, almost the top part of your legs in towards the bricks here. So you're sending the hands out in front. Initially, we're going to tuck through the toes, find our hands planting out in front of the bricks or whatever it is that we have. Take a full breath as we inhale. Push the bum backwards towards the heels of the feet as you exhale, drawing your seat towards your heels. And then rounding through the spine in towards your angry cat on an inhalation through the spine. We can look forwards out in front of ourselves. We do that twice more, pressing the seat towards the heels, a little bit of resistance in towards the palms of the hands. Rolling through the spine as we inhale, lifting through the back body, lifting through the front. Once more here, bum presses all the way back towards the heels of the feet. We feel that sense of softness. Massaging in towards the lumbar, then giving it that space as you pull forwards and round and towards the backs. You're going to look out in front of yourselves this time as you inhale. And as you exhale, rest your thighs in towards your prop space, releasing through the tuck of the toes. You're going to turn your right hand backwards towards the brick. You're going to turn your left hand backwards towards the brick. Maybe there's a little bit of shuffling, a sense of perfecting where you find your comfort here. Pressing in towards tops of feet, pressing into heels of hands. Could you feel the sense of depression as you push in towards the palms and lift yourself up and away from the floor space? And when we turn the fingertips in the opposite direction, it allows our shoulders to broaden a little bit more through the front. You might close the eyes here. And just notice how it feels to be upright and to be expanding forwards through the front of the body. Is it possible to just keep letting the breath flow through the pose? Is the mind beginning that narrative that it often can do, where it tells you perhaps that you aren't strong enough, that you can't maintain this space? What if you were to rewrite that and told the mind that actually you could, that you are resilient, that you are soft, and that you have done harder things than just pausing here? Breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale very slowly, take a softening at the elbows, at the hips, and turn the hands back forwards out in front of you. Move your props towards one side. And once more, we're going to interlace the hands. We're going to find that same space. Tucking through the toes. We go for one cat-cow this time. Navel down towards the floor space. Heart goes all the way up as we inhale. Pushing in towards the palms of the hands and rounding through the spine as we exhale. This time, keep the tuck of the toes, sit the bum to the heels. Draw your arms all the way up towards the sky. Open to extending towards the chest, maybe lifting through the throat, lifting through the eyes or face. Then exhale to release the hands down towards the ground. This could be tabletop position, or it could be a tuck of the toes, a lift of the knees and hips, and go back into downward facing dogs. We're going to cycle through this 2 more times. So the knees will go back down if you lift it. There's a cat-cow with navel going towards ground space, heart going all the way up. Pressing in towards the palms, rounding through the spine. Setting the bum towards the heels of the feet. So lifting the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Experiencing the lift of the ribcage, the expansion in towards the chest as we inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands go down towards the floor, tabletop position. Knees might hover, or hips lift up towards the ceiling, bring it into downward facing dogs. And notice how this feels different. Be okay with the different. Try to rewrite those habitual patterns. Navel goes down towards the floor space, heart goes all the way up. Inhale. Pressing in towards palms of hands, rounding through the spine for the last time as we exhale. Drawing the bum towards the heels of the feet. Arms go all the way up towards the ceiling. Inhale, keep expanding. This time as you exhale, release your hands, place them down towards your knees, round through your spine. As you inhale, lift your arms all the way high to sky. As you exhale, take a cactus in that kneeling space. Twice more, arms go up, inhale. Round through the spine, contraction, navel towards the back of the body, head towards the chest. Arms go all the way up as we breathe in. Bend through the elbows, exhale for cactus. Once more, all the way up, inhale. Round through the spine, so we have to familiarize with all directions or movements of the body. Arms go all the way up, inhale. This time, let's exhale, place our hands towards the floor. Find downward facing Adho Mukha Svanasana as you know it. As your hands root down in towards the ground, spread the hands a little wider. See if you could resist doing that dance that we do when we get here. Notice what you feel in the stillness, and then adapt accordingly. So try not to guess or preempt what either I will say or what your body is used to doing. And see if you could really allow yourself to sit totally at the present, at the very center of what is happening in this moment in time. Take a rise towards your tiptoes as you inhale. Step your right foot, step your left foot towards the top of the mat as you exhale. Expanding in towards the front of the chest space, we breathe in halfway to lift Ardha Uttanasana. Release to Uttanasana, forward fold in towards your thighs. Coming all the way up to stand as you inhale, prayer goes up towards the sky, Ardha Hastasana. As you exhale, you're going to release your hands by your side and heels or your feet about hip width distance apart. Finding an interlace of the hands behind you, you're going to draw the knuckles down and squeeze in towards the heels of the hands if that feels available to you. From this space, keep that sense of pushing away. Lift your arms almost towards the center of your spine so they go upwards. And as your arms are lifting behind you, you might feel the sensation of fizzing through the fronts of the shoulders. Just an information, a physical cue that something is happening. Can you maintain this space? Draw your pubic bone a little further forwards. Maybe brow your chin towards your chest. And keep pushing the knuckles in the way that your body doesn't want the knuckles to go. How can you soften within the space and use just the appropriate amount of effort? One more breath, inhale. Keeping the bind, forward fold in towards your thighs as you exhale. Maintaining this bind, you're here for 2 full breaths. Inhale through the nose. You're here for 1. Keeping the bind, push down through the big toes. Come all the way up and extend your heart towards the sky, maybe opening gaze, opening through front of throat and face. Exhale to release, bring it all the way back into the fold, still with the bind. 1 breath here, pressing in towards big toes, maybe toning through thighs, subtly feeling like you're tearing the mat. And then releasing, sending your fingertips down towards the ground. Take a halfway lift of your chest space as you inhale. Pressing in towards the palms of the hands, step it all the way back into downward facing dog as you exhale. Finding downward facing dog to pause. Maybe a little bit more rhythm creeps in towards the breath. We're going to roll through the spine, move in towards your high planks, inhaling. As you exhale, push in towards the palms and your pubic bone down. Extend through the front of the heart and chest space, hanging upward facing. As you exhale, press down towards hands. Draw your right leg up towards the sky, three-legged downward facing dog. Knee towards the nose and the right foot steps in between your hands. Left knee lowers towards the ground space. Arms go wide and high to the ceiling. Anjaneyasana, inhale. As you exhale, frame your right foot. Planting down through palms, step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Pause in downward facing, inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Roll through your spine, find your high plank, inhale. Pubic bone goes down, heart goes all the way up towards the sky. Pressing in towards the hands, left leg lifts to the ceiling, three-legged downward facing dog. Knee towards the nose, left foot in between your hands. Right knee lowers towards the floor space, arms go wide and high. Inhale, rise up. As you exhale, frame your left foot, step it all the way back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pausing in downward facing on arrival. Now from this space, we're often so poised and tense through the body. Bridging through the hands, bridging through the feet. I want you to almost feel like you're buckling at the joints. So bending through your knees, bending through your elbows, and almost feeling like you could kiss the ground. Then pushing in towards your feet, pushing into your hands, lift your hips back up high. Once more there, collapsing, buckling everything, just relax. And pushing in towards hands, pushing into feet, bring it all the way back up. Gorgeous, rise towards your tiptoes, inhale. Stepping right foot, stepping left foot to top of mat as we exhale. Opening in towards the heart space, we lift, breathe in. Uttanasana, forward fold in towards your thighs. Rising to stand, inhale, arms go all the way up. You're going to make a box above your head, grab a hold of your elbows or your forearms. As you make this box above your head, push the forearms up towards the sky and try to feel that the elbows are escaping the fingertips and the palms. Press the box behind your skull, inhale. Keeping weight in your toes, bend your knees, set it back in towards Utkatasana chair pose. As you find Utkatasana, you're essentially standing all the way upright. Little bit of buoyancy, little bit of weight. Now, without changing anything, feel like you're tearing the mat with the feet. Keep reaching the forearms upwards, keep feeling like the elbows could escape the fingertips. Take a full breath, inhale. Releasing to forward fold as we exhale. Make a lift of your chest space halfway in. Before you go anywhere, if you have bricks, take one either side of your mat. Step it back in towards your high plank. Pausing in high plank, inhale. Knees could go low, Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale. Upward facing Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, inhale. All the way back, child's pose, bum towards the heels as you breathe outwards. Pausing in child's pose for a breath. Beautiful. Then slowly starting to bring it all the way up. Hands go underneath the shoulders. If you have bricks, bring them either side of the mat. I like higher setting. You go where you need to go. If you don't have it, just place your fingertips down towards the ground. Lift your hips back to the sky. Move to downward facing dogs. Lift your right leg to the ceiling as you inhale. Bend through your knee and open through your hip as you exhale, squeezing your heel in towards the bum. You want to squeeze here, not to bring tension into the foot, but to bring activation in towards the hamstring to offer more length through the front of the quad. Breathe in through the nose for 1. Knee towards the nose as you exhale, pausing in this space to suspend. Look out in front. Once more, right leg goes up to sky, inhale. Bend through the knee and open through the hip as you exhale. Knee towards the nose, right foot plants in between the hands. Left knee will go down towards the floor space. As the left knee goes down towards the ground, place your hands towards the bricks. As your hands place to the bricks, you want to feel the sensation of drawing upwards through your heart, hugging back in with the elbow points here. So expanding through the front of the chest, take an inhale. Feel like the left hip point is going further forwards towards the front of the right ankle. As the left hip point goes further forward towards the front of the right ankle, you could keep the left toe tucked or you could release it. Maybe your hands start to walk a little bit further backwards on the bricks. Maybe you're coming towards the fingertips. Elbows draw inwards, pause, a little bit of pressure here as you inhale. A little bit of softening as you exhale. And then resting hands towards the bricks, we breathe in through the nose for 1. As we exhale, we're going to retuck the left toe if we untucked it. We're going to shift it back in towards the 1990 space. Open your arms wide. From here, you're going to contract, draw the arms in, just draw the pubic bone under, bow the chin towards the chest. Then as you inhale, lift your arms high towards the sky, lunge forwards in towards the right leg. Pushing down in towards the right foot, extend the arms wide to side. Contraction is super tiny. I see a lot of just bowing down. Think about the navel hugging back, contract pubic bone forwards, along with her front left hip point, Arms go all the way back high to sky. Once more here, expand wide. Drawing it in, contraction. Arms going all the way back towards the ceiling space as we inhale. And then as we exhale, we're just framing the right foot, pressing in towards the palm, stepping it all the way back into downward facing dogs. Bricks can stay where they are. Lift your left leg high to sky, inhale. Bend the knee and open through the hip as you exhale, squeezing heel in. Contraction to hamstring, lengthen the front left quad. Draw left knee towards the nose. Can there be almost this rounding or this puffing up through the scapulars? Left leg goes back high to sky, inhale. Bend through the knee and open through the hip as you exhale. Knee towards the nose and plant the left foot in between your hands. Right knee goes down towards the ground. Tuck of the toe or release, your choice. Hands towards bricks if you have them. So we want to feel that there is a sensation reaching forwards. I'm not totally in my max space. I'm squeezing in as if the upper inner thighs want to almost connect. Pushing in towards the left toes and softening through the front right hip points. Hands towards the brick, hugging back, activity through the spine. I can feel the muscles of the back working. There's maybe a little lift of the chest, maybe an untucking of the toe, and this idea that we want to kiss the right thigh down towards the ground. So just that flirting with flexibility space that we often move into. Very non-committal, but something is there. Take a full breath in. Maybe fingertips go back a little bit further. We tuck through the toe. Shift it back so you're sitting in towards the knee space. Arms at the center of the heart, expand. So we're starting to connect. Let's draw it in for contraction. The right pubic bone goes forwards. Bending in towards the left knee, bring it all the way up high to sky, low lunge. We have two more, so we go out. Contraction, navel pulls back, which generates this scooping in towards the lower mid part of the spine. Arms go all the way out in front of you as you inhale. You have one more here, expanding wide. Scooping in. Arms lifting all the way up high to ceiling, breathing high. Framing the left foot, maybe moving your two bricks out if you have them. Step it back into downward facing dog. Enjoy the length of your spine. Draw it forwards all the way in towards your high plank, inhale. Pausing in high plank for a breath. Looking forward, Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale. Upward facing Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing Adho Mukha Svanasana. To tiptoes you rise, inhale. Stepping feet to top of mat, exhale. Halfway to lifting towards the heart and chest space, breathe in. Forward fold and towards your thighs, breathe out. Bending in towards your knees, your Utkatasana chair pose, make a box above your head the way that feels weird. Take a full breath, inhale. Sitting in towards the bum, pressing the arms a little further backwards. Maybe to stay or maybe to play with a rise towards the tiptoes. Hugging through the inner seam of the ankles, pressing in towards big toes. Find calm, find clarity. Let yourselves be in the neutral space, where it doesn't feel resistance, where it doesn't feel pain. Take your focus there. Heels go down, we're still in Utkatasana. Pushing in towards the legs, let's lengthen. Box is still above your head, send your pubic bone forwards, open through the chest and heart space, inhale. Releasing to forward fold as you exhale. Halfway to lifting towards the heart, so let's breathe in. As you exhale, plant down through your palms, step it straight back to downward facing dog. Pause in downward facing. We're going to roll through the spine, draw the chin towards the chest as we inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looking forward, press it back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow rivers, once more. Rolling through the spine, chin towards the chest for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, only just looking forwards on 1, bending through the knees, pressing back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous, right towards your tiptoes. Send your knees all the way down towards the ground space. Releasing through the tuck of the toes. So we're going to set the bum towards the heels of the feet. So we're working through back bends, kind of gearing up to move into places that perhaps we didn't know we could move into. Very, very slowly, very precisely. So think about how you can really listen inside of your body, understand where your limits are, understand where your layers are, and where you can soften into a neutral space to generate the sense of calmness. So we can always do more if we just bring our trust into ourselves. Hands towards the frontal hip points. You are, from this space, going to press in towards the tops of the foot and ankle. You are going to tuck through the pubic bone. So I see lots of people just kind of lift up and hold in the thighs. Very strong, but we're going to work through something slightly different that rolls the pubic bone forwards and the sit bones back. So I've made this rounding through the lower part of my spine to push down and then lift up. Pubic bone, arms out in front of us. Wow, hello, I did mat reform yesterday for the first time. Very hard, very humbling in this moment here. Extending in towards the fronts of the thighs. So when we want to action through back bends, our thighs become such a vital component. Work into the strength. Luckily for you, because of my thighs, we won't be here for long. Take a full breath, inhale. Release the bum back towards the heels as you exhale. We'll just do it once more, that little tug of the pubic bone. So arching, know your arch, know your tuck. Lift a little bit. Opening through front of chest, breathe in through nose. Exhale, release your hands all the way down towards the ground. Tuck your toes and lift your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. So our thighs are now with us. We're going to really work those thighs now. Lift your right leg high to the ceiling as you inhale. Knee towards the nose and right foot in between the hands as you exhale. We're going to rise all the way up in towards high lunge. The high lunge that we work with quite often, where we're really at the edge of our capacity, just exploring what it could feel like. So bending towards the right knee, pressing back through left heel. Thinking, okay, maybe I've landed there and that feels good, but am I curious with what's beneath? Am I still curious with what's above? Could I slightly press backwards through my spine? Lengthen through the back of the left knee, still reaching forward through the front right shin. Steady one-pointed focus, we hold for 2. Breathing through 1. We're going to push in towards the legs, lengthen both legs and the ball of the back left toe. Keep the right leg straight, bend in towards the left knee, shift it backwards. Hug the arms in, contraction. Bend in towards the right knee, bring it all the way forwards into high lunge. So lengthen 2 legs, arms go out. Contract as the left knee bends, round your spine. Bend in towards the right knee, bring it all the way up, high lunge, inhale. Just once more, outwards. Draw it all the way in for contraction. Bend in towards the front right leg, high lunge, inhale. Then releasing either hands towards earth or hands towards prayer. Warrior 3. Plugging in towards the right foot, lifting via the left leg. Now we always showcase forwards with the front of the body, front to the self. Imagine you were seeing someone for the very first time with only the back of your body. How can you show them who you are at the center through the back of your spine? Crown of the head going forwards, taking long breaths in. Maybe pulling the right knee up. Here as we breathe, inhale. Right knee to soften as you exhale, step back with the left foot. Arms go all the way back, high lunge. This time, right hand goes towards the small of the back. Lifting the left arm up, base of the scapula lifts. Right hand can sail, travel down the back of the left hamstring. Take a full breath, inhale. Maybe to soften in towards that left knee, just a touch as you exhale. See where you want to stretch, where you want to feel sensation rising. Where you want to quieten sensation. Left knee goes all the way down to the ground. 2 arms go high to sky, inhale. Pausing in that high space, take a full breath as if it's Anjaneyasana, dropping in towards your left hip a little bit more. So still buoyancy. Arms open out on a Y, chest goes up to sky, inhale. As we exhale, we're going to shift it back, half Hanumanasana. Flexion through the right toes, hands either sides of the hips. Now we're going to move in this space. Bending in towards right knee, left hand goes down. Shifting forwards in towards the left knee, tap your right forearm towards your left toes. Reach and shift it all the way back into half Hanumanasana. Flexing in towards the right leg, reaching forwards. We have 3 more here, bending in towards the right knee. Tapping toes towards the forearm. Pressing it all the way back as you exhale. Twice more here. This doesn't have to look like anything in particular. Maybe you close your eyes, you're feeling the sensation inside to outwards. One more breath, reaching it all the way forwards. Bending into the knee, we can take a moment to pause. Finding the breath go in. Exhale, releasing, right hand goes down inside of the right foot line. Tuck through the left toe, lift the knee away. Ground down through your left heel. As you bend in towards the right knee, we're going to rise upwards. Virabhadrasana B. So as you find Warrior 2, widen your legs. Use your mat, use your bodies. It's such a beautiful tool. We want to embrace it. We want to really find joy living in it. Open up. Set the focal point. Breathe a little deeper. Here for a full breath, inhale. Windmilling the arms as you exhale. Planting down, stepping it all the way back into downward facing dogs. Pausing in downward facing for 1 breath in. Rising towards tiptoes, sending the knees all the way down towards the ground space. Toes tucked or toes untucked, your choice. Bum towards the heels of the feet. This time we're going to have the hands towards the heels of the feet, but don't quite go towards camels yet. Hands are just there as a preparation. As your hands pressing towards the heel of the foot, make the tuck. So I'm arching here. Make a tuck of your pubic bone, lift up. So you're almost weighting the hands in towards the back of the foot. Keep squeezing and keep lengthening through the frontal hip points. Then wrapping by pressing in towards the shoulders. Squeeze through the scapula, so almost as if we're a ski slope with our chest and thighs. Take a full breath, inhale. Then push down, bring it all the way up in towards your camels. Opening through the front of the throat, opening through the chest if that feels available. Maybe to stay or to send your hands towards the backs of the knees. You might pause, you might untuck the toes. Push down through the knees, tops of the feet as you inhale. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, invite the thighs to tip backwards, maybe laying the crown to the ground. Breathe in it, undulating it, oscillating it, find your spaces. Bring it all the way up. Really spun towards heels. Take a moment, sit within the ankles. Make a box above the head. Extend the breath into the sidelines, extend the breath in towards sides of elbows, sides of arms. Become more passive. Inhale. Release your hands to the ground as you exhale, tuck through your toes. Lift your hips to the sky, bring it into downward facing dog. Roll through the spine in towards high planks, rolling for 4, rolling for 3, rolling for 2, rolling for 1, waving it back for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once more, rolling through the spine for 4, 3, 2, 1. Looking forwards, waving it back for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We move, draw the left leg all the way high to sky, inhale. Left foot steps in between the hands as you exhale. Rise into high lunge. Expand your space. Where's the habit? Rewrite it. Our body loves the cheats, it loves the habits. Even when those habits are not our best habits, we know perhaps they're not serving us, they're not right for us. There's a comfort in familiarity. So any little shifts, any little changes that you can do that brings yourself out of your comfort is such an amazing practice of rewiring. See how you can land, see what you can explore, what feels different, what feels perhaps bad, in quotation. Lengthen through 2 legs, inhale. On the ball of the right toe, arms go wide as we exhale, bending towards the knee, contraction. Left knee to bend, arms go all the way up, diving forwards, high lunge. Twice more, go wide. Contract in as you bend in towards the right knee. Left knee to bend, all the way up, high lunge, inhale. Bring it wide. Right knee to bend, contraction. All the way back into high lunge, inhale. You can place hands to ground, hands to prayer warrior 3. Same idea. We always present forwards. We always lead with face. We always lead with chest. Your heart sits in your back as well. Your heart sits in your sides. Showcase it. What version of you are you trying to be? Maybe just a very stable one at this moment. If you're wobbling, embrace it. Let the body respond. Step it back all the way into high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, left hand towards the small of the back. Right arm goes up, breathe in. As you exhale, maybe there's a deepening. A sensation of reaching perhaps further. Only the appropriate amount of effort is needed. Right knee goes down. Still here for a moment into Anjaneyasana, inhale. Flirt with the flexibility, exhale. Open the arms on a wide, expand upwards. Release it back, half Hanumanasana. You don't need bricks. Make it work. Take the hands a little wider. Be higher, take a full breath in. We're only here to move. Right hand goes down, bend in towards left knee. Shift it forwards, tap toes, maybe your eyes close. Bring it all the way back. Left hand goes forwards, flexion in towards left foot. 3 more. Sensation over perfection, reach in. All the way back as you exhale. For 2, reaching forwards. Into right knee, heel towards bum, open through heart. Sending it all the way back. Last one. Bending in towards the right knee, maybe we pause here. A little bit of suspense as we lift up, inhale. Left hand goes down as we exhale, tuck through the toe. Lifting through the right knee, grounding through the heel. Virabhadrasana B, warrior 2. As the left knee bends. Find the sensation of pressing a little bit in towards the right little toe side. Experiencing an external rotation through the front left leg. Breaths perhaps a little tempered as mine is, it's okay. What can we do to settle it from the inside outwards? Breathe in through the nose for 1. Wimble the arms and frame the left foot. Step it all the way back, downward facing. Now from this space, we're going to play a little bit. We're going to move towards tiptoes as we inhale. Knees go down to ground as we exhale. So what we're trying to think of is how we use muscular effort through the spine to generating an opening through the front of the bodies. So I think quite often when people think of back bends, they tend to collapse and think, well, if I soften everything, I'll be able to just throw myself into that shape or sit out in hypermobility, whatever it might be. We actually, to make an extension through one part of the body, need to contract the other part of the body. So we are opening through the front line, so we need to contract through the back. So the idea is that we're kind of trying to feel, my body isn't quite the right length for this as an exercise, but for some of you, it might be something that you want to try. The idea loosely being that if you had 2 bricks, that you could compress those 2 bricks and hold them in space through the back of the pelvis and the back of the skull. So there's a sensation of pushing the back of the head in towards the back of the pelvis. So we are going to take that by placing the hands towards the ribs. My thumbs are at the back of my ribs. My hands are wrapped around the front of my rib cage. Most importantly, hug your elbows in. Create that sensation of fizzing that we had when we were here at the beginning of practice. Elbows hug in. You're going to stick your bum out as much as you can. Hug the elbows in and feel like you're almost lifting through the back of the rib cage and trying to showcase the front of your rib cage, the flaring of your rib cage, upwards and forwards. Elbows hug in. Imagine there's a strap behind your arms, as if someone has belted those 2 points together and they are squeezing in towards the center line. Maybe you're looking forwards. If it feels okay and available, you can open through the front of the throat. Be in the rounding of the spine. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, slowly release. Gorgeous. So we're going to take the hands down towards the floor space. We're going to tuck through the lift the hips towards the ceiling. We're going to find the same thing standing, so floating or stepping, making our way towards the top of the mat. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Turn out through your toes, softening towards your knees. Again, have buoyancy. Understand the sole of the foot in the ground. Bring yourself all the way up. So hands are behind your back. You want to hug in. As you bend through the knees, we work through the thighs. So come to that space of anchoring, come to that space of strength in the front of the leg. So my mic is swinging everywhere. Hug in through elbows, inhale. Send your space, so your bum is sticking out as much as it can. Oftentimes we can always stick it a little bit further. Opening through the heart space, inhale. Now if this is newer to you, look forwards. You can pause or keeping a bend through the knees, send your pubic bone forwards. Begin to open in towards the chest and feel how the back bend didn't get deeper. You just changed the orientation of where your pelvis was. Engage your glutes, maybe your hands go behind calves. Keep your glutes on, keep squeezing scapulas. Take a full breath, inhale. Wherever it is you are, indulge in it, hold in it. Landing in towards toes, maybe opening through throat. Maybe closing eyes. Where you are is perfect and it's exactly where you need to be. Do not compare yourself. Bring yourselves all the way up. Take a little moment. Beautiful. Turn your toes forwards. Maybe supporting through the stomach so as you draw yourself in towards a fold. Softness in towards the knees, let the head be heavy. Maybe you grab elbows. You could nod the head yes, you could shake the head no. Sway a little bit from side to side. Then releasing, send your fingertips down towards the ground, opening towards your chest. From this space, you're going to step back with your left foot. If you have a line on your mat, like I do, send your left knee down towards the center of the line. Your left toe is tucked. Your right foot is going to heel toe all the way forwards towards the top of the mat and turn out at a 45-degree angle. Your left hand is planting down towards the floor space. Maybe your right hand is as well. So with that external rotation through the front right leg, we have a lot more impetus or a lot more scope to really work in towards the left hip. So you can pause. You don't have to be anywhere else. Or you might want to send your right hand towards your right thigh. Give a little bit of pressure, a little bit of feedback into the tips of the fingers. Holding here, taking an inhale. As you exhale, perhaps you're starting to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling space. Breathing into what that is for an inhalation, maybe to meet it with your right arm as well. You could take Kali Mudra, offering that upwards energy and upwards strength through the spine and through the fingers. Maybe starting to release the tuck of the left toe. So maybe you're sitting quite high, maybe you're sitting quite deep. You could also bend in towards the left knee, point through the toes, maybe release the hands towards the toes behind you, still with that external rotation. Figure out how you balance. Maybe there's a left hand that goes down to support, structurally widening that base for you. Finding that leaning in towards the front of the left thigh. They've done loads of work, so maybe this just feels like a nice quad stretch for you. Perhaps you're pushing foot away into the hand and opening through the heart, a little bit more play with that. You could have a belt here, you could have a strap here, you could have a dressing gown lead. Releasing, right hand goes down, left hand goes down, tuck through the toe. This is going to be the hardest bit. Push in towards the right foot, step your left foot outside of your left hand, move into Malasana squat. Draw the bum all the way down towards the ground. You can stay or you might wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins. Bring your head down towards your heart. Hold into your legs, maybe move a little bit from one side to the next. And then lift your hips all the way high to sky. Fingertips go down towards the ground, open through your heart space, inhale. Step back with your right foot as you exhale, right knee lands in the center of the mat. Heel toe the left foot out. Turning through your left toe, softening, draw it forwards. One side of the body is going to feel so different to the other. That's normal, that's human. Make allowances in the mind to let that be okay. Right hand, left hand down. You don't have to go anywhere at all. This is so more than enough. Left hand towards left thigh. Right arm goes all the way up high to sky. If you went somewhere on the other side, you might be deeply regretting it when you get to this side like I am. But see if you can meet it. See if you can go there, understand what feels different, maybe why. 2 arms go up, inhale. Shifting a little further forwards, perhaps releasing the tuck of the toe as you exhale. Maybe bending through the knee. Taking deep breaths if you need it. Allowing the breath to work with the pose. Maybe widening the base if you caught the foot. Maybe imagining you could catch the foot. Nothing much changes. Don't let the ego go too crazy. Let the breath flow through the pose. That's your number 1. And take a release. Hands go down, bring yourself out of it. Left foot stays where it is, maybe shuffle it back a tiny bit. Right foot steps outside of the right hand. We're going to bring the feet slightly closer together. If you have bricks, you could take 1 brick out in front of you. And you could bring 1 brick a little bit underneath your seat if you wanted. Toes turn forwards. You could either just sit in towards the brick space like so, if that feels okay. It could be mid-height, highest height, you don't need it either. Your choice. You might want to make a T with your bricks at the top of the mat. I've kept them both a little bit lower. Heels of the feet just subtly away. So there's this buoyancy, I feel like a little bug. Wrapping your arms around the fronts of the shins. And then releasing your hands underneath the heels of your feet. So maybe sit some weight in towards the heels. Taking a breath, inhale. Little bit of push back of the arms in towards the shin space here. It feels really nice on the spine when you do that. There I don't really feel anything. When I push in towards the shins and extend forwards, I get this super nice stretch. Bring your head in towards the bricks and let's just hold this space, whatever it looks like. One more breath. Lifting gaze, little shift of weights. Moving the bricks. Lengthening legs, let's refine that fold over thighs. Grab your elbows, nod your head yes, shake your head no. Maybe just drifting your focus back to the sensation that you feel within the physical self. Maybe like a cup of tea, you're just starting to add a little bit of milk. Bringing some lightness into those darker spaces, bringing some availability. Reconnecting with those seeds of potential and alchemizing all of your experiences to just be where you are here. Release your fingertips down towards the ground space, open through your chest as you inhale. Placing your hands towards the ground as you exhale, stepping it back into downward facing dog. And then from this space, we're going to take a rise towards our tiptoes. We're breathing in through the nose. And we're landing ourselves all the way down towards the seat. So bum coming towards the floor here. We're going to extend the left leg out in front of us. If this doesn't feel right for you for any reason at all, you can bring your right foot towards the inner seam of your left thigh, Janu Shasana A. If you're with me, we're going to pick up the right leg and bring the right heel outside of the glutes. So not stepping the foot down towards the ground, but just starting to lay the right knee over the left. Arms can go wide here. You could bring your chin down towards your chest. Maybe that's all. Maybe you want to take the brick into the thigh. Maybe you want to lean forwards. You're at home. So I hope you have a little bit more safety in knowing that whatever you need to do is exactly right. Not trying to be something or someone else. Eyes can close. Full amount of weight into the face and into the skull. Expanding the breath into the back of your lungs. And the heart beating towards the back of the head, back of the chest. Very slowly starting to bring yourselves back up. And from this space, we'll just bring our hands behind us. And this is almost just like you've run a marathon. You're knackered. Legs are out in front of you. You're sitting in towards the back of the pelvic space. And you're just slumping into what that is. Letting the head be nice and heavy, letting the chin pull down. You might just want to pause into the stillness of this, so you're pushing in towards the palms of the hands, rocking to the fronts of the sit bones, opening through the heart as you inhale. And then as you exhale, curling back through the spine, bring the chin down. And then we bring it all the way up and we take it over to the opposite side again. They don't have to be the same. Maybe you have a lot of tightness through one side of the body. I definitely have so much more through my left. So maybe this is where you start. Maybe this is always where you end. Or maybe there's just that extra little bit that you could feed yourself into. Letting the head go heavy. So when we think of these heart spaces, the most important way to connect with the heart in terms of the physical purpose of the practice is by finding this muscular activation through the back of the body, knowing that they're being somewhat diligent with how the body is working, really listening to the cues, listening to the response from the body, working accordingly with the mind's eye and the breath. But also starting to build, which is always easier said than done, this sense of trust within the self. Maybe this idea that by opening through the front, we get to know a little bit more about what is happening inside ourselves. And this practice is always here for us to not leave on the mat or to not throw away or picture as an exercise routine, but to feed in towards our day-to-day life. Who we want to be, where we want to go, how we want to feel. Being able to share that with others. Breathe a full breath, inhale. Exhale as you need and choose, maybe passively through the mouths. And slowly, slowly bring yourselves all the way back up to that seated space. Last little bit, we're going to bring ourselves towards our seat. So in a Navasana boat pose, we always tend to sit back in towards the back part of the pelvis, which is something that looks like this. Lovely, gorgeous. A little bit more challenging, a little bit more in hip flexors or lower front of the stomach. So we're going to try to come forwards on towards the front of our sit bones here. And you'll know that you're there because your spine is really straight versus your spine being really rounded. So pull yourself forwards, be on the front. Fingertips go out, toes go down. Maybe this is it already. This brings me so much information through the front of my hip flexors. Maybe you play with lifting a leg. Maybe you try to lift the other leg and you try to keep your spine nice and straight. Sitting on the front, maybe you're lengthening through legs. Notice how the quads feel. Notice the tendency in the habitual pattern that you want to find to rock backwards into the rounding. Maybe there's a little bit more movement here as you explore, you just play. Going forwards, maybe there's a little back. Pulling it forwards again, just feeling out that sensation. Inhale. And feet go down to the ground as we exhale. Lift it all the way up through your arms. Either roll down towards one side or roll down through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Gathering your legs in. Let's bring the feet about mat width distance apart. Finding constructive rest. Let the thighs rest in towards one another. Hands can rest in towards the stomach space. Head is nice and heavy. Maybe there's just a couple of breaths here. Inhale. Let sound travel if sound feels right. Let pelvis rest. Let spine rest, just enjoying all that you feel. And then we will slowly open the arms wide just for a moment. Drop both knees over towards the right hand side. A little bit of movement in towards hips and pelvis, peeling it all the way back up. Dropping them over towards the opposite side. You can move within that space. Nothing has to be perfect. Any cracks, any shifts into quads that you want to feel, a little bit more rotation if that's what you need. And then bringing soles of feet all the way back to the ground. And here you could choose if you want to close your practice in seated meditation, if you want to press pause on the video and just set yourself up for a little bit more movement or a little bit more stillness if you crave it. If you're with me, we're extending outwards into final Shavasana, and I'm really focusing on just how I imprint my whole body down. A little bit of movement, maybe just a wiggle into the hips and into the lumbar spine. Inhale, vibrate. Exhale out. If you want to stay here for longer, stay here for longer. If your timing meets mine, I invite you to think about this word, apricity. And apricity is the feeling of sunlight hitting your skin in winter. And perhaps that isn't something that is a direct reflection of where you are in the world right now, and maybe it's very grey or very rainy. Could we start to embed this idea of apricity, in towards our own bodies? That natural sort of gaze upwards or expansion or energy shift that we feel when sunlight moves down onto our skin. Perhaps you just feel your heart lifting to the sky, lifting to the sun. The face softens, it opens to receive a little bit more. And can you hold that sunlight within you, almost as if you're drenched within the warmth of it? And keeping it in your chest, keeping it in your center. Invite subtle movement in towards your fingers, invite subtle movement into your toes. Maybe you want to take full body stretches, or you're cool to roll towards one side of the body as you inhale. We take that gathering as we exhale. And as you need, we start that lift upwards to meet together in a comfortable seat. And you might choose to place the hands somewhere on the body that you want to connect a little bit deeper with. Or you bring the hands towards Anjali Mudra, prayer at the heart center. Pressing the thumbs towards the chest and sending the gaze downwards. And as you energetically seal in your practice, could you allow yourself to not drift too far from this feeling that you have here? To see if you could let this feeling be somewhere within your body as you move through the rest of your day. Maybe try to share this feeling with others around you, those that you love, strangers that you meet. And keep building this world that you want to live within. If it feels appropriate for you, draw the thumbs to the space between the eyebrows, Ajna chakra. Continue to practice, and all is coming. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I can't wait to practice with you again soon.